Hey, this is pretty cool. Look at this planet. We spend so much time looking up, dreaming about exploring outer space, which is awesome, don't get me wrong. But what if I told you that right here on our own planet, there are places that are just as wild, just as mysterious, and just as mind-blowing as anything you could find on Mars or beyond? We literally gave away a private island, but even that seems normal compared to some of the stuff we're about to see. These aren't just cool landmarks. They're genuine puzzles that have stumped the smartest people in the world for decades, sometimes even centuries. Earth holds secrets so wild and baffling that even scientists, with all their advanced technology and brilliant minds, can't always explain them. We're talking about rivers that boil, waterfalls that vanish into thin air, and lights that dance in the sky with no explanation. It's like our planet has its own secret levels that we're just now starting to discover, and trust me, they are insane. We sent people to some of these places, we've done the research, and we're still left scratching our heads. It's like a real-life video game with glitches that nobody can patch. So, get ready, because today we're counting down 7 of the world's most unbelievable mysteries and phenomena. I'm going to show you things that will make you question everything you thought you knew about the world. Prepare to be amazed. And hey, if you want to see more insane content like this, do me a favor and click the subscribe button and turn on notifications to join us on the bright side of life. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's get into it. All right, first up, we're heading to Minnesota in the United States. This looks like a normal, beautiful state park, right? You've got trees, rocks, a river, but this isn't just any river. This is the Brule River, and it has a secret that has baffled everyone for over 100 years. As the river flows along, it splits at this massive rock formation. Half the water continues on like a normal river, flowing down into Lake Superior. But the other half, well, it does something impossible. It plunges into this giant hole in the rock, known as the Devil's Kettle, and then it just vanishes. I'm not kidding. A massive amount of water goes in, and nobody on Earth knows where it comes out. You'd think it would pop up somewhere downstream, or in Lake Superior, right? That's what scientists thought too. So, they started doing experiments to solve this crazy mystery once and for all. It's like a magic trick, but with millions of gallons of water. They started simple. They threw in big objects like logs and GPS trackers, expecting to find them floating in the lake later. Nothing. They never saw any of it again. So they stepped up their game. They poured in massive amounts of brightly colored, non-toxic dye. We're talking gallons and gallons of vibrant, impossible-to-miss dye. The idea was that the colorful water would show up somewhere, revealing the secret exit. The river should have turned bright green or red. But again, nothing happened. The water in the main river channel stayed perfectly clear. Lake Superior showed no signs of the dye. It was as if the earth just swallowed it whole. Every single drop that went into the Devil's Kettle disappeared without a trace. Geologists have studied the rock formations, the underground cave systems, everything. They've looked for fault lines, lava tubes, anything that could explain where this massive underground plumbing system leads. The theories range from a massive, undiscovered underground river to a complex network of tiny cracks that filter the water over miles and miles before it rejoins the groundwater. But here's the problem. For the sheer volume of water that's going in, there should be a massive, obvious exit somewhere. You can't just hide half of a river. It's an insane amount of water disappearing every single second. So for now, the Devil's Kettle remains one of the craziest geological puzzles on the planet. Half a river flows into a hole and is never seen again. Imagine standing there, watching it happen. It completely breaks your brain. What do you think is happening here? Is it an optical illusion? A secret government project? Let me know, because science is officially stumped on this one. Next up, we're flying across the Atlantic to England to check out something that was built thousands of years before anyone even knew what a YouTube video was. This is Stonehenge. You've probably seen pictures of it, but you can't appreciate how massive this thing is until you're standing right next to it. These stones are gigantic. Some of them weigh over 40 tons, which is like the weight of 4 school buses. And they were moved here from over 150 miles away. Think about that for a second. This was built around 5,000 years ago. There were no cranes, no trucks, no heavy machinery. Not even the wheel had been properly used for this kind of transport yet. So how in the world did a prehistoric society with nothing but primitive tools made of rock, wood, and bone manage to quarry these colossal stones, transport them across rugged terrain, and then stand them up in this perfect, intricate circle? It's absolutely mind-boggling. We actually tried to recreate a small part of this. We got a team of people, we got ropes, we got logs to roll, and we tried to move a stone that was a fraction of the size of the ones at Stonehenge. It was unbelievably difficult. After hours of work, we had barely moved it a few feet, and these ancient people did it with dozens of stones, some of which were transported over hills and across rivers. The sheer manpower and engineering knowledge required is off the charts. But the how is only part of the mystery. The bigger question is why. Why would they go to all this trouble? For centuries, people have been guessing. Was it a temple for sun worship? The stones are aligned perfectly with the sunrise on the summer solstice and the sunset on the winter solstice, which is an incredible feat of astronomical observation. It's like a giant, ancient calendar. Other theories suggest it was a burial ground for royalty, a place of healing with supposed magical properties, or even an observatory for predicting eclipses. Some of the more wild theories even suggest it was built by aliens as a landing pad. While that's probably not it, the fact that we're still guessing shows how little we truly know. There are no written records from the people who built it. All we have are the stones themselves, standing silently on the plain. Despite decades of archaeological digs, scientific analysis, and countless studies, there is no definitive explanation for how or why Stonehenge was built. It's a testament to human ingenuity and a massive 5,000-year-old question mark carved into the landscape of England. Every stone holds a secret, and after all this time, they're not talking. It's one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Okay, for this next one, we're heading to the cold, remote wilderness of Norway to a quiet little valley called Hessdalen. During the day, it looks like any other peaceful Norwegian valley. But when the sun goes down, something incredible happens. Almost every single night, strange, unexplained lights appear in the sky, and nobody knows why. This isn't a new thing either. People have been seeing them for generations. These aren't just little blips of light. They can be bright yellow, white, or red. Sometimes they're just floating there, hovering in one spot for over an hour. Other times they zip across the valley at incredible speeds, faster than any known aircraft. They can be the size of a car, or even larger. They silently dance in the darkness, sometimes appearing in groups, sometimes alone. It's a light show put on by an invisible force. Naturally, this has attracted scientists from all over the world. They set up an automated research station in the valley, filled with cameras, radar, and all sorts of fancy equipment to try and figure this out. They've been studying these lights for decades, and while they have a lot of data, they still don't have a definitive answer. They've ruled out a lot of things. It's not airplanes, it's not stars, it's not car headlights or any known man-made phenomenon. One of the leading scientific theories is that the valley acts like a giant, natural battery. The geology is unique. One side of the valley is rich in copper, and the other side is rich in iron and zinc. The river that runs through the valley contains sulfur, which could act as an electrolyte, creating an electrical charge in the air. This could create a sort of plasma in the atmosphere, which would glow. It's a cool theory, but it doesn't explain everything. It doesn't explain why the lights move in intelligent-seeming patterns, or why they can change shape and speed so dramatically. Other theories involve piezoelectricity from rocks under stress, or some kind of unknown atmospheric phenomenon. And of course, there are the people who believe it's something else entirely. UFOs, extra-dimensional beings, or spirits of the valley. When science can't provide a clear answer, people's imaginations run wild. So every night, the show goes on in Hessdalen Valley. The lights appear, they dance, and they disappear, leaving behind more questions than answers. It's one of the few places on Earth where a UFO-like phenomenon is so consistent and predictable that you can set up a permanent lab to study it. And yet, even with all that focus, the Hessdalen lights remain a beautiful, baffling, and slightly spooky mystery. Get ready for this because it's insane. We're deep in the Amazon rainforest in Peru, a place called Mayantuyacu. And here, there's a river that shouldn't exist. It's called the Shanai Timpishka, which translates to boiled by the heat of the sun, but the sun has nothing to do with it. For a stretch of over 4 miles, this river is so hot that it literally boils. I'm not exaggerating. The water temperatures can reach over 200 degrees Fahrenheit, close to the boiling point. Anything that falls into this river is cooked alive. We saw leaves and branches fall in, and they started to break down almost immediately. Local legends talk about small animals, monkeys, birds, reptiles, that have fallen from the trees and been boiled instantly. You can see steam rising from the water all along the riverbank, and the air around it is thick and hot. It's like walking through a sauna that could kill you. The craziest part about this river is there are no volcanoes anywhere near it. Usually when you find super hot water like this, it's because of geothermal activity from a nearby volcano. The heat from the magma underground warms up the water. But the closest active volcano to the boiling river is over 400 miles away. So, where is all this heat coming from? That is the million-dollar question that has scientists completely stumped. A geoscientist named Andres Russo, who first heard about the river from his grandfather's stories, made it his mission to study it. He thought it was just a legend, but when he finally found it, he was blown away. His main theory is that there's a unique geothermal system at play here. He believes that water from the Andes Mountains seeps deep into the Earth's crust, where it gets heated by the planet's natural geothermal gradient. Then, through a series of faults and cracks, this superheated water is pushed back up to the surface at an incredibly fast rate, so it doesn't have time to cool down before it feeds into the river. This would have to be the result of a very specific and massive underground plumbing system that we have never seen anywhere else on Earth on this scale. It's a plausible theory, but it's not proven. We don't have a full picture of the geological structures deep beneath the Amazon. For now, the boiling river is a sacred site for the local Ashaninka people, who believe it's a place of immense spiritual power. It's also a massive scientific anomaly. A 4-mile-long stretch of boiling water in the middle of the jungle with no obvious heat source, challenging our understanding of how the Earth's geothermal systems work. It's a deadly, beautiful, and profoundly mysterious place. This next one feels like it's straight out of a sci-fi horror movie. In 1986, workers in Romania were testing the ground for a new power plant when they stumbled upon something completely unexpected. They broke through into a cave that had been completely sealed off from the outside world for an estimated 5.5 million years. This isn't just a cave, it's a completely separate, alien ecosystem. It's called Movile Cave. Getting into this cave is incredibly difficult and dangerous. You have to go down a narrow shaft, then navigate through a series of tight, flooded tunnels in complete darkness. But the real danger is the air. The atmosphere inside Movile Cave is toxic to humans. It has about half the oxygen of normal air and is filled with poisonous gases like hydrogen sulfide and high levels of carbon dioxide. You can't survive in there for more than a few hours, even with breathing equipment. But here's where it gets crazy. In this poisonous, pitch-black environment, life is thriving. Scientists have discovered 48 different species of creatures living in the cave, and 33 of them are found nowhere else on Earth. We're talking about unique species of spiders, scorpions, leeches, and insects that have evolved in total isolation for millions of years. They have no eyes, no skin pigment, and long antennae to feel their way around in the dark. Unlike every other ecosystem we know, which is based on photosynthesis, plants using sunlight for energy, the Movile Cave ecosystem is based on chemosynthesis. At the bottom of the food chain aren't plants, but bacteria. These bacteria get their energy by oxidizing the sulfurous compounds in the water. Then, other creatures eat the bacteria, and larger predators eat them. It's a completely self-sufficient world running on chemical energy instead of light. This discovery was a game changer for science. It proved that life could exist in extreme conditions without any sunlight. which has huge implications for the search for life on other planets. If life can thrive in a sealed-off poisonous cave on Earth, maybe it can thrive in the underground oceans of Jupiter's moon Europa, or in the methane lakes of Titan. Moville Cave is literally a model for what alien life could look like. Access to the cave is extremely restricted to protect its fragile and unique environment. Only a handful of scientists have ever been inside. It's a pristine, prehistoric world that was accidentally discovered just a few decades ago. It makes you wonder how many other sealed-off ecosystems like this exist right under our feet, holding secrets to the origins of life and the possibilities of what could exist beyond our world. Okay, let's fly down to southern Africa, to the Namib Desert. From the ground, it just looks like a dry, grassy desert. But if you get up in the air, you see something bizarre. The landscape is covered in millions of perfectly circular, evenly spaced patches of bare earth, surrounded by rings of grass. They look like a bad case of chickenpox on the face of the earth. These are known as the fairy circles of Namibia. These circles can range from about 10 to 65 feet in diameter, and they stretch for hundreds of miles along the desert. The pattern is so uniform, it almost looks man-made, like someone came out here and carefully planned this landscape. But nobody did. They are a completely natural phenomenon, and for decades, scientists have been fighting over what causes them. It's one of the biggest debates in ecology. For a long time, the leading theory was termites, specifically a certain species of sand termite. The idea was that termite colonies under each circle eat the grass roots, creating the bare patch. The ring of taller grass around the edge then benefits from the extra water that collects in the soil of the bare patch. The termites essentially create their own little ecosystem. It was a neat theory, and for a while a lot of people thought the mystery was solved. But then, other scientists came along and poked holes in it, big holes. They dug up hundreds of circles and couldn't find evidence of termites in all of them. And more importantly, in 2014, identical fairy circles were discovered in Australia, half a world away. And guess what? There are no sand termites of that species in Australia. So the termite theory, at least as a single universal explanation, fell apart. This led to the other major theory, which is that the plants themselves create the pattern. In a harsh, dry environment where water is scarce, plants compete fiercely for resources. The idea is that stronger, more established grasses suck up all the water around them, killing off weaker seedlings in a circular patch. The empty circle then becomes a reservoir, channeling water to the grasses on its edge. It's a theory of self-organization driven by competition for water. But this theory also has its critics. It doesn't fully explain the incredible regularity and spacing of the circles. So now, the scientific community is split. Some are still team termite, some are team self-organizing plants, and some think it's a combination of both. Despite countless studies, satellite imagery analysis, and computer modeling, we still don't have a final conclusive answer. The fairies of Namibia are keeping their secret. For our final mystery, we're going to Venezuela, to the spot where the Catatumbo River meets Lake Maracaibo. And what happens here is one of the most epic, insane, and consistent weather phenomena on the entire planet. It's called the Catatumbo lightning, or the never-ending storm. For up to 300 nights a year, for as long as 10 hours a night, a massive, silent lightning storm rages in the sky. I'm not talking about a regular thunderstorm. This is relentless. There can be up to 280 lightning strikes per hour. That's almost 5 strikes every single minute for 10 hours straight. And the craziest part? It's mostly silent. Because it happens so high up in the clouds, about 3 to 6 miles high, you often don't hear the thunder, you just see the sky constantly flashing with brilliant streaks of light. It's been happening for so long that sailors used to call it the Maracaibo Lighthouse, and used it for navigation. So, what causes this? Scientists have been studying it for years, and they have some good ideas, but no single, universally accepted explanation. The leading theory is a perfect storm of geography and wind patterns. Lake Maracaibo is surrounded on 3 sides by mountain ranges. During the day, the hot tropical sun evaporates water from the lake. At night, cool winds blowing down from the Andes Mountains meet the warm, moist air rising from the lake. This collision forces the warm air up rapidly, creating massive, towering thunderclouds that are supercharged with static electricity. Methane gas rising from the massive oil deposits under the lake might also play a role, making the air more conductive. This combination of factors essentially turns the area into a perfect, natural lightning-generating machine that runs almost every single night. It's the most electric place on Earth. But here's a twist that adds to the mystery. In 2010, the lightning stopped. For the first time in recorded history, the storm vanished for about 6 weeks, from January to March. The sky went dark, and scientists and locals were terrified. Had it disappeared forever? They blamed a severe drought caused by the El Niño weather pattern, which reduced the moisture needed to form the storms. Thankfully, after 6 weeks of silence, the storm returned, as powerful as ever. But that brief interruption showed that this incredible natural wonder is tied to a delicate balance of complex climate factors that we still don't fully understand. It's a spectacular display of nature's power, a nightly light show that illuminates the sky, and a constant reminder that even the most predictable phenomena can hold deep mysteries. So, what did you think? A waterfall that leads to nowhere? A boiling river with no volcano? And a cave with its own alien ecosystem? Our planet is so much weirder and more mysterious than we could ever imagine. From ancient stones that defy explanation to natural phenomena that break the laws of physics as we know them, it's clear that we have so much left to discover right here at home. These 7 mysteries are just the tip of the iceberg, and they prove that science doesn't have all the answers yet. So now I have to ask you, do you have any theories about the mysterious places we looked at today? What do you think is happening with the Devil's Kettle? Are you Team Termite or Team Plant for the fairy circles? There are no wrong answers when even the experts are stumped. So share your hypothesis in the comments section and start a conversation. I'm genuinely curious to see what you guys can come up with, because sometimes the best ideas come from out of nowhere. If you were as amazed by these places as I was, please give this video a like, share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, click subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss our next adventure. We're always looking for the most incredible things on this planet to share with you. Thanks for watching, and remember, there's always more to explore. Stay on the bright side.